Hey, my name's Daniel Gefen, and welcome to the 5 Minute Bark Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about how to stand out in a noisy world and how to have persistence that you can get anything you want. Dennis, let me try something with you. Ready?
Yes.
Okay. No! Hey, did you just die?
Nope.
Okay, you're still alive, right? Nothing happened, right? You know, I had recently a guy called Daniel Gefen on my show. What an incredible guy. The guy plays tennis with Richard Branson. He flies, he hangs out with Mike Tyson, you know. And I said to him, I said, Anil, how do you do this? And he said to me, well, I just asked. Like, I just went up to Richard Branson one day and I said, hey, do you want to knock up? You know, like, let's play tennis. And they played. And he shared with me a very powerful story, which illustrates this point. His son was on a flight and he was sitting in first class. And lo and behold, guess who's sitting a couple of rows up from him? Tony Robbins, right? So Anil's son calls his dad up and goes, Dad, you won't believe who's on my flight and who's sitting just a couple of rows up from me. And he goes, who? He said, it's Tony Robbins, Dad. Tony Robbins, a couple of seats up. And so his father goes, great, go sit next to him. And his son says, Dad, I can't go sit next to Tony. There's someone sitting next to him already. And his dad said, so what? Go up to the guy, tap him on the shoulder and say, excuse me, sir, but I'd love to take your seat. And if you could, trade seats with me because I want to sit next to Tony Robbins, that would be wonderful. And his son said, Dad, there's no way I'm going to do that. That's crazy. He's never going to let me sit there. And he said, son, if you don't ask, you won't know. So go over there, okay? Ask the guy if you can trade seats with him, and even if you have to, take your watch off, okay, and offer him your watch. Tell him if you let me sit here, I'll give you my watch. And his watch was obviously a Rolex, very expensive watch. And he says, okay, Dad, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Puts down the phone, goes over to the guy sitting next to Tony, taps him on the shoulder, and says, I'm so sorry to do this, but I really would love to sit next to Tony Robbins, and if you could just let me trade seats with you. And he takes off his watch. I'll give you my watch. And the guy sort of sits there, looks at him very weirdly, and he goes, do you know what? Put your watch back on. If it means that much to you, you can have my seat.
You're watching the 5 Minute Bark Podcast on YouTube. If you like this episode, you just may like many more. Subscribe today by clicking the red subscribe button in the top right-hand corner.